Welcome back here for the recap of the 2019 NFL Draft. I did edit all 224 players into real life prospects, so I hope you guys enjoy. As you can see, the Chicago Bears seem like they had an alright start to the draft, but then it kind of petered out after that. The Bengals had a decent draft. Caleb Kelly looked pretty good, and they got a good corner, and they got Snoop Dogg's son, Cordell Broder, if he decides to come back and play some football. The Bills had an alright draft. Jason Myers looks pretty good, and they got a nice player in the 7th round. Broncos, Chris Owens looks pretty good. Ronald Jones III is Larry Pryor is pretty darn good for them. The Browns, 3 players over 75 overall in the first 3 rounds. Great start to the draft for them, and all 3 impact guys going into next season. The Buccaneers, Micah Abernathy looks pretty good, and they got this George Austin character in the 7th round. He seems pretty darn good. The Cardinals had an kind of a rough draft for them. McCullough seemed like their best pick, the 2nd rounder. The Chargers, decent draft. Tristan Haas looks pretty darn good. Patrick Vahi seems pretty good as well. For the Chiefs, Trey Lamar, he's alright. Josh Smith is okay. But it was a weak draft kind of overall across the board, so weak draft class. And for the Colts, they got Eric Cuffey, the defending Super Bowl champs, and Luke Reynolds and Cameron Ordway to fill out their secondary. How about them Cowboys? They got Keenan Smith in the 2nd round to pair up with Jake Butt, and that was about it for their draft. The Dolphins, Shea Patterson in the 2nd round, and then in the 5th round, they came back and took Trace McSorley. So they have a bit of a quarterback controversy with Tannehill, Patterson, and McSorley. The Eagles had a really good draft. I mean, they had 4 picks. Their first 4 picks are all over 70 overall, including that 3rd round pick had superstar development. For the Falcons, Jordan Scarlett, they found him in the 7th round, but that was about it for their draft. 49ers had a lot of picks to work with the Josh Rosen trade, and it looks like they spent most of them pretty darn well, and they got some nice value to build on that 8-8 season a year ago. For the Giants, it looks like they got some good value. Devin Duvernay will replace Victor Cruz, who departed in free agency. For the Jaguars, rough kind of draft for them. Damian Harrison's alright, and Carl Tucker is decent in the 6th round, but that's about it. For the Jets, Miles Sanders seems decent, and that's about it for them. As I said, very weak draft class. Now here's the Lions draft. Of course, the 1st round they took quarterback Caleb Henderson, a new franchise guy. 2nd round they took Glover Coon's replacement Brandon Jones. In the 3rd round they took Lester Kahn. It was quick development. He'll probably start. They took this with their 2nd 3rd round pick. They took a tight end Clarington, then Williams, 6'5" receiver in Arrington Farrar in the 7th round. He isn't even that bad, 73 overall. Packers, they took another receiver to replace Jordy Nelson, and their receiving corps is lethal. You saw Keen at 96 speed. He's a burner. The Panthers, Devin Asiasi out of Michigan looks like a good steal in the 2nd round. He'll be pretty darn good. For the Patriots, they took Shane Buechele in the 3rd round to bring in some competition with Jimmy Garoppolo, as of course Tom Brady retired. For the Raiders, Wilton Speight is going to be some competition for Derek Carr, who has not developed into a good quarterback at all. In fact, he's been mediocre in this franchise. For the Rams, they finally got some protection with Jared Goff by drafting Michael Bennett in the 2nd round, but that was about it for their draft. The Ravens had some limited picks to work with, and it was a pretty rough draft for them, although they did find Trent Irwin in the 7th round. He seems pretty darn good. Redskins, of course, took Ryan Darty in the 1st round. Keenan Walker in the 4th round looks like a good pick, and Tyreek Hill might develop into something. For the Saints, they got some protection for their young quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, and that was about it. Rodney Anderson in the 6th round seems okay. For the Seahawks, Demetrius Robertson to replace Jermaine Kearse, he seems alright. And Austin Joyner out of Washington, he might be good. For the Steelers, of course, they took their young quarterback, Jacob Eason, to be Big Ben's successor. He's very injury prone, and he has not stayed healthy since 2014 for all 16 games. For the Texans, we got their young quarterback in Sam Darnold. E.J. Price is like a good pick in the 2nd round, but that was the extent of their good draft. For the Titans, Michael Divinity, alright. Rashad Jones, alright. Luke Farrell, okay. And Eric Swinney in the 7th round, not a bad pick at all. And for the Vikings, Gregory Little, Tyree Cleveland, Trayvon Mullen, they actually had a very good draft for them. And they get Teddy Bridgewater back in 2019.